Welcome all who dare to enter. Tonight we travel to the Middle East and a country known as Iraq. These tales are about an ancient cryptid, the Jinn. These beings are not the genie in the bottle, but can be something far more sinister. But first, many of us creators start our channels with little to no training or advice. If you are thinking about or starting your own channel, then pay heed. TubeBuddy can point you on the right track. They offer several different plans and should be checked out, as they offer sound advice. Many features like educational videos, keyword explore, when is the best time to post videos, click magnet, and many more. If you're interested, just click my link in the description and begin your YouTube journey. Now let the tales begin. Bahrain Djinn. When I was a sailor in the United States Navy, I was stationed in Bahrain on a tour. Me and a shipmate found an apartment off base. We did not know the history of the apartment, but soon found out a lot of bizarre and weird things would happen while we were there. Being two single men, we had our fair share of female guests. They were often woken up in the night, complaining about activity such as hair pulling and feeling the presence of someone watching them sleep. These experiences happened nightly. Shadow people, pots and pans banging in the kitchen, and whispers from the darkness was heard consistently. I knew a pagan friend, and he told us to use sage in the apartment. This did work for a few weeks, but soon the voices returned, more often and louder than before. Our friendship also took a bad decline as things became worse. We would blame each other for the situation we were in. Soon he would transfer to another station. And of course, I went back to the base, leaving the apartment alone. The last time I saw the apartment, I was beginning to leave. I looked around one last time and noticed in the kitchen near the window stood a man. He was a black shadow, but he looked at me and had those glowing red eyes. I left that place and never looked back. And soon I transferred out of there as well. I don't know why a jinn decided to torment and haunt us, but I'm all too happy to not meet it again. Haunted Cemetery. My ancestors were from Iraq, yet I was raised here in the United States. I would listen to stories from the old world as a child. My grandfather often told these tales to us children, stories he believed completely. He told us the one time he found an old graveyard near his home. His family lived in a forested area in the northeastern part of the country. On his father's land was a very old grave site. Grandfather was told to never go near that place, as it was haunted by a jinn. As a child, Grandfather decided not to listen and to sneak to the graveyard one evening instead. His father had a collection of medieval weapons, mostly iron, that he had found throughout the years. Grandfather, as a child, stole one of these daggers. Then he made his way through the trees and down the old path to the graves. When he got there, he was astonished at what he found. The graves had not only been unearthed, but many were torn apart. Decayed bodies were found upon the ground, as well as animal remains. The place stunk of decay and death. Tracks were found, but they were neither human nor animal. They seemed a strange combination of both. Claw marks were also found near the open graves. Bones were broken, skulls chewed upon, and the flesh had been eaten. Whispers were heard by my grandfather, as if the trees had found their voices. Shadows seemed to move, and the air grew chilly as goosebumps rose upon his skin. He had heard tales of the ghouls, but never believed that until now. Now scared and realizing he was all alone, he turned to run home. His feet stopped as he saw a pair of glowing eyes coming from the forest in front of him. He stopped as he noticed the rest of the forest had gone quiet. And he turned to see glowing eyes surrounding him, creeping out of the woods and the darkness. Knowing he may become their next meal, he grabbed the iron dagger and raised it high in the air. It was enough. For despite the dagger being dull, iron could hurt a jinn. The eyes disappeared back into the darkness. Whispers rose again, but grandfather was already running for his life back home. He did not believe when he went to the graves, but he believed now. He kept that old dagger on him until he died many years ago. His one last request was for it to be buried with him. He was that afraid that the ghouls may come for his body after he had left this world. If you enjoyed these videos, I only ask one small favor of you. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and feel free to comment. It's a small thing to ask of you, but it really does help the channel to grow. And for me to keep bringing tales like this to you. And as always, beware of the Shadowlands.